Faithful unto death. The following story is taken from the book Follow Your Faith by Hans Flescher.
Is dying for your faith true faith or religious fanaticism? How far do you have to be willing to follow the rules of religion? It is the 1930s and Germany is ruled by the Nazi regime. The government calls for compulsory military service, and there are no valid arguments to evade the call. By that time, Protestant religions had multiplied, and at the call of the government, many of them had to confront their basic principles and even reinterpret their doctrines so as not to be at odds with the empire of the Reich. Most religions were willing to set aside their principles of universal church, brotherly love, and gave their young people leave to enlist in the German army. But there is always an exception. There are those who would rather die than put aside their faith. And that's the case of Gunther, barely 18-year-old FED. In 1941, he was taken prisoner to Auschwitz for refusing to break the fourth commandment, not working on the day of rest he believed in. According to his faith, he was actually between 16 and 17 years old when he was taken and was fighting inside the camp, not to work the biblical rest day he had learned. About 6 weeks later, he was released for a short time, and his parents and brothers, when they saw him, cried when they saw how emaciated he was, almost unrecognizable. And already in 1936, the German government had banned the practice of the faith to which it belonged, Wunderfests, for the reasons that this church did not agree with. Nationalism, and because he considered that all human beings are brothers. Furthermore, the members of this religion did not want to bear arms and go to war so as not to murder another human being. In this sense, professing this type of faith was illegal and treason to Hitler's government, so members of this religion. Their property was confiscated and they were taken to concentration camps and tortured to death. Today, in the third decade of the 21st century, do you think a religion with these principles would be prohibited? It only happens in dictatorships, but in democracies, it is rather welcome to go back to history. Almost 1 year later, he was taken to the forced labor camp and stayed for about 3 weeks. There he could see another brother of his faith, Viktor Pasha, and they were happy to be together. Both refused military service, and by Himmler's order, both were sentenced to death. Before the sentence was carried out, Gunther wrote a couple of letters to his parents. We quote, "And now, dear parents, I share the following with you, and I know that for you it will be sad news. I had a subpoena on August 6th. You can imagine what was said. I spoke what the Lord told me to speak. What was pronounced on me is the sentence of death." Gunther remained true to his faith, and knowing that his parents wanted to visit him, told them, first of all, you need permission from the Reich War Tribunal. On the other hand, there is no value in making such a long trip to be able to talk only for a few minutes with me. My wish is that in the new earth, we will be inseparable. Gunther was shot along with his friend Pasha. They never gave up their faith, but were left with the hopes of being resurrected on the day of the Lord's return. And the question is for you, how far would you go? Faithful to the Lord, do you believe that a church should adapt its principles to be okay with governments, or should what the Bible says prevail? Tell us.
Revelation chapter 2 verse 10. Do not fear at all what you are going to suffer. Behold, the devil will cast some of you into prison so that you may be tested, and I will have tribulation for 10 days. Be faithful unto death, and I will give you the crown of life.